we're already done with 2025. I can't wait for 2026. Yeah, I just want to be alive till 2026 and beyond. Yeah. So we want what's coming forward, not moving backwards.
Yeah.
So when we start off with the presidential candidates and their schedule, Bulira is supposed to be in Amulata. Mugisha Muntu Yumbe and Obongi Chagulanyi Robert is in northern Uganda again. He's in Omoyo and Oyam. Yesterday he was in Amulata district talking to his supporters. President Museveni yesterday concluded with the Ankole sub-region tour, and now he's in Kasese and Bunyangabo today. Kasibante for National Peasants Party, and then Nandala Mafabi is in Soroti. Mubarak Munyagwa is in Hoima City and Bulisa. And then, I'm Bulisa district. Bulira is in
and Bulira is where my
Bulira is supposed to be in Amolata district. Yeah, similar with.
So why change candidates and support Bulira instead?
Why? You have to have a strong reason. Why do you want sympathy vote?
Yes.
Ugandans now are wise. They are not doing sympathy votes anymore. They now know.
We now know who we want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, speaking of the candidates, the Electoral Commission, remember, yesterday met the agents of the candidates, and they spoke about many other things, things to do with processions not being held, things to do with the time frame for candidates doing their campaigns at their rallies between 9 and 6 p.m. They say it should be kept that way. They talked about the biometrics and how they're going to be used, saying that each polling station is going to have 2 biometrics, and they expect each user of the biometric to last less than 1 minute on that machine, so that they have more people voting. And they also say that they will ensure that the people who are at the polling station by 4 p.m. stay there until the voting happens. So even if you're 100 or 200 at the polling station,
you will all vote.
You will all vote. And also they have split the polling stations further from about 40,000 to about 50,000 polling stations to accommodate lesser numbers, because there's some polling stations that had like 1,200 people. So they want polling stations to have at least 600 voters, so that it's easy for them to use these machines faster and be able to vote. Now, of course, police was speaking about the police was represented by Mwesigwa, and he was speaking about the processions, because they were asking him, journalists were asking him, the double standards being played. We are seeing some candidates holding processions here, and then others are not holding processions. And he was saying that the processions that you are seeing are organized processions. If you come to us, contact us and tell us, I want to do a procession, you will give you that time and give you the guidance to have an organized procession. But then he was also talking about dogs and the canine dogs that they have put in place that are scaring people, and he's saying this is still an asset of police. Everything you see police using to quell maybe defiant people who are not following the EC guidelines, all those things you see are recommended in the law. The gunshots they are firing, the tear gas they are using, as he explains, and the dogs even.
Embwa tuzikolesa tuina canine unit ate twababulidde lwaki tuzikolesa ne level how we can use these dogs. Now all means we are using now are legally allowed as police, so there's nothing we are using that is illegal in the law. No, they are all legally allowed. Even the breeds, when you see what we are proclaiming, for example, the government, no campaign should go beyond 6, we proclaim. In that proclamation we even say you have the right to use a rifle fire. So it is allowed in the law. You see what we have been discussing with these people, let's not give bankrupt ideas to our young people. That's what we have been telling them, so that we don't allow people to provoke security. Because if you provoke security, we have a right self-defense.
Okay, let's hope they provide the security that he has talked about. Lwakuba embwa nze waliwo nze ntya embwa bannange lwakuba nti embwa ya security tebeeranga zino ezaffe.
Stray dogs or anything, because they're trained. They're trained to handle stuff, because they're the ones that have even used in real police investigations.
Yes.
So maybe, but the thing of processions is a bit tricky, because if Mwesiga is saying processions, you can
allowed.
seek us, and then the EC is saying we are not giving, this is our guidelines. Yesterday we saw Rongoya Lewis talk about processions, and he was saying processions are not illegal. The law provides as long as you go to police and seek. But the EC that is conducting legally mandated to conduct the elections is saying, for us, we don't want processions. Candidates, Bebakam has been particular and says candidates should tell their supporters, find me on the ground. And he also said candidates are allowed to wave at their supporters while they are moving towards the venue where they're going to host a rally, but they are not allowed to hold a procession, as in people gather with them and move with them to the rally.
Okay.
Anyhow, so we have a very disturbing story. This story happened in Mukono, to be very particular. Let me get the details of that story. Mukono, where a body was made to stay for 3 weeks. A decomposing body was actually kept in the house for 3 weeks by a pastor and family members.
For what?
Now, this is a man. He's called Segawa Ase, now deceased, 40 years old. He's a resident of Butinindi, Terere Parish in Tereju, Chisoga Town Council in Mukono District. Now, according to preliminary investigations, this is Luko Esgiri, the KMP deputy spokesperson. He says that the deceased fell sick 3 weeks ago. His family and the pastor, the family called the pastor, I think the home pastor, she's called Nelima Margaret, also called Nabi. So Nabi comes home to pray for the deceased. When she reaches home, she directs the family, God is going to heal this man. Temutwala mudwaliro, muleke waka, ngenda musabira until he gets fine. So the family adheres to the pastor's instructions and they say, okay, fine, let him stay home. So the pastor prays for him several days, no recovery, and he dies. He succumbed to his illness. We don't know what illness it was. So even after he succumbed to his illness, the pastor still said he's going to resurrect.
Oh, wow.
So keep the body there. They kept the body. It started decomposing until it reached the advanced stage of decomposition. Then neighbors sensed that foul smell. They were smelling something really bad, and that's how they came and realized the dead body. So police has arrested the family members and the pastor for negligence. One of the people who have been arrested are the mother to the pastor, to the deceased. And then there's the pastor herself. Her real name is Nakonde Susan. Nakonde Susan is a sister to the deceased and also a pastor. And then Nelima Margaret Nabi, the pastor, the prophet who had told them to keep the decomposing body.
Deceased fell ill approximately 3 weeks ago while at a family's ancestral home. Instead of seeking medical treatment, he was subjected to continuous prayer sessions led by a local pastor, Nelima Margaret alias Nabi, together with his mother, sister, relatives, and friends. Based on the first pastor's instruction, the deceased was denied access to any form of medical care and was only prayed for regularly. Unfortunately, Segawa later succumbed to his illness. The relatives and the pastor continued to keep his body inside the house for several days, praying over it with alleged hope of resurrection. Even as it decomposed, their actions only came to light after a strong smell raised suspicion within the community, prompting residents to check on the home where they discovered the body in an advanced state of decomposition.
Waliwo ebituuka n'ebigambo ne binzigwako because I don't want to judge people for their religions, but waliwo bannange ekisukka n'olabira ddala nga
tulina okukozesa
ate
common
bannange
sense.
bapasita, I know you want to make money, but please don't overdo it.
Yeah,
so how
that's
can you
really
tell someone
chaotic.
let me pray for the person, for the sick person, he's going to get well.
Yeah.
Waliwo ebintu ebimu nga
And I
tebikola. You
think-
need to take
and-
that person to the hospital and
Yes.
get treated. I hope this is also a lesson to other people who are thinking this actually works, and your pastor can come home and pray for you,
Yeah.
and then you're healed without taking any
Yes.
medication.
It's true.
Because
And so it's funny that these people actually quote the Bible because they are the Bible references that can support the things they're saying. For instance, Lazarus. Remember the story of Lazarus? Oh God. Who was in the tomb.
And
So
then Jesus
maybe,
resurrected.
Yes,
That
Jesus
is
resurrected him
Jesus.
4 days later. So
Eh.
maybe. And then there's also a scripture in the Bible that says that those that believe will even perform greater miracles
Yes.
than I did. So maybe the pastor is like, as long as I believe for you, this body is going to resurrect. So, I mean, first of all, this is a grieving family. You are keeping them in limbo, as in they're not able to have proper closure for their person. Imagine staying with a dead body that is
for all that long.
smelling. Each day that goes by, it smells even more, and you're still keeping it there.
Ngobawadde hope until your person is going to resurrect.
And
That's
you-
why I said I don't want to judge people's religions, because I also have so many questions about the Bible and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Watch take it there.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on in religion. So
Yeah.
Banange, let's have some kalito, how can I call it? tubeera mu kale n'amagezi kali common
let's have
sense
some touch
actually.
with reality.
I know.
Because I know the Bible teaches us to believe in the unseen or things that, to have faith, kwegamba, just have faith. But there are times when you need to be practical. You have to be practical. As in, you can't wake up in the morning and sit and think that food is going to come into you. Even the food, even if it's there, it can't come into your stomach. You have to get up and cook it. So you can't get up and say, by faith, the food will get cooked and come into my stomach. Really. Please.
Oh, God.
Hello, guys.
The mid-morning to Corner with Flora Shaw, 100.2 Galaxy FM. Zina.
Customer, mwoba mukikola mutya?
You boda guy. Naye tunula